Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I want to pour some flowers, but I want to do the backgrounds a little bit different. I already put my resin, the Mastercast resin, into the mold. I'm using here the round Cascade mold from MoldsandShapes. It's the coaster mold, and I only filled 1/3. So this is 3 millimeters deep. And it's not a lot for flowers, but I thought I'd try it. I used the Campari resin ink from Etta Art, and then I have here alcohol ink, a sparkler, it's called, from Octopus. And I want to have this goldenish background a little bit in the center of my flower. So I'm very curious how this is going to turn out. I've never done this that way, so yeah, I'm very curious. I have here my white, and the white is just the white pigment drops from Etta Art, and that's it. I didn't add anything else to my white. It's only the white pigment drops. And now I just want to do small flowers. That's why I'm going around the rounds of the colored from the resin inks or from the sparkler. You see it. And I only go in circles, and then I smoothing out a little bit, of my begin and the finishing of my circle. And then I do another circle. You see it just in the middle. And I really try to be as small as possible. I don't want a big flower. I just want a little flower. And then I want to have the chance to see more of the background. So this is my inner circles. And then I thought I still had some white left, and I'm going outside again. You see it there, just outside where the colored resin is with my white. This is actually also the leftover of my Mastercast. So at the moment I ran out of the Mastercast, the thick resin. So yeah, that's why I could only fill 1/3 of the mold. But it's also nice to see, can you really achieve a nice flower with so little depth? And yeah, I just thought I'd try it. Now I just make the pattern of my flowers. I just go from the outside to the inside. That's what I'm doing for all the flowers. And then I'm doing a little swirl in the center. It takes a little bit time till my flower petals are really closing up. And I can already tell you they didn't close up completely, but I didn't mind because there's going to be the background. And you will see also later that the sparkler, you know, it's like a metallic alcohol ink, just closed up the center. At the moment it's not quite viewable, but you will see it. Yeah, here you cannot see it yet, but you will see it just before I do my back layer. But this is how the flowers were looking after I stopped drawing my petals. And I already love the color blending because due to the sparkler, the petals get a little bit of a goldenish, yellow goldenish sheen, and I really like it. Looks beautiful. And then I was thinking, what can I do for the background? And I decided to use a purple tone. So that's since I started mixing my resin, and I added some of the elderberry in there. And the elderberry is a resin ink from Etta Art. So I just go with 2 spritz, I guess. 1, 2. And a little bit. And I just mix it. I don't know how much resin I need, colored resin, so I made sure I mix up enough clear resin so I can always add a little bit more of the colored resin. And in the second step for my first coaster, I just add some clear resin into a little cup and also add some of the interference pearl from Etta Art. And this powder you really need to stir very, very well. And you see I just go with quite an amount, and now I need to be careful that nothing will just fall into my coasters. I should put my coaster mold away, but you know, sometimes I'm afraid when you move it that it comes up, if you know what I mean, that your coaster already loosens from the mold, and then you take the risk that some of your resin you are pouring on top will leak underneath. So that's why I'm not moving it. I had it before a long time ago and I don't want it to happen again. So now I'm taking here my elderberry color and I'm stirring again my mica powder, and then I just pour on top of my elderberry color just to achieve this nice, beautiful crackle effect with the interference pearl color. I did it before many, many times, and I just love it as a background, but I also love it just as a normal coaster, just to have this kind of crackle effect because it looks so delicate and I really like it. Now I'm preparing for my second coaster. And I want to do a sort of web effect. So I'm just adding a few drops of the white pigment drops again into my little cup. And I'm stirring it very well. So I really make sure it's really mixed well. And can you see in the first coaster this funny hole? I don't know why this is happening. Sometimes resin just does whatever it does. I don't know. There's no alcohol on top, there's nothing on top, it just made this hole there. But I guess at the end result it doesn't matter. And now I just also added a little bit of clear to my elderberry color, just to make it a little bit more transparent, because I thought it was a little bit dark. And I'm pouring around the edge now with my white. And I'm filling up my mold with the elderberry color, and it's still quite dark. I could have made it a little bit more translucent. I think it's, or transparent, it's a little bit too dark. And then I decided to achieve maybe a bit more of the web effect, I just pour just a little bit of white at the edge. And then the resin can just do its magic and hopefully pulls towards the center. And I don't know if I mentioned it, I'm using here the ultra cast resin for the effects in the background. And now I'm mixing again a little bit of the elderberry, and I'm adding some drops, stirring my resin very, very well again, so yeah, that there are no streaks. So this is fine. And then I also add some clear resin into my cup where I had my white pigment drops, and I'm adding round about 8 pigment drops for my back crackle layer, because I wanted to show the difference between a mica crackle and when you use the pigment drops or just a normal white pigment, just to see the difference between those two. And that was the intention behind that. And I'm stirring this also very, very well. And again, I just pour my elderberry color into the center. And when you do this, please make sure that you are not too hurrying, not too rushing. Otherwise, it's easy to overfill your mold. So this is what I've done. And now I also take a little bit of clear resin to give it a little push into the center so that the resin can do whatever it needs to do and gets a little bit a push up. This is now my third coaster, and I can take care for the last coaster. And of course, I'm very curious if the flowers also worked very, very well, because I have no idea. They are poured very thin and, well, you never know. So now I have my elderberry color, and I still had some of the white, and I'm pouring the white rather thick on top of the elderberry color, and then I'm filling up my mold. And yeah, and the second mold can still have a little bit of clear. And then I just let my resin do whatever it needs to do. You can see it's already working, but I will put you on a time lapse very, very soon, so you can see how the resin is pulling to the center and making nice effects. So this is the time lapse. Sometimes I need the torch just to pop some bubbles on the surface, but you can already see it's working. And I'm so curious for the demolding. I was really nervous because the flowers are really thin, and I hope it's not going to be a big blob or anything. But I will see only, yeah, the next day. I let them cure 24 hours because the ultra cast resin needs 24 hours to cure. And I'm very curious. I think at some of the coasters, the background, the pouring side looks very interesting. But for me, the most interested, especially in this mold, is of course, yeah, the opposite side. And now look at this. I really love the crackle effect just with the mica, with the interference pearl, because it's so delicate, and the flower also turned out very well. In the middle, there's a sparkler, and it's quite goldenish, and I really like it. And look at this crackle effect. It's completely different from the appearance, and I love them both. I think they are both very, very elegant, very elegant. Yeah, you know what I mean. And this is the one where I wanted to achieve the web effect. The web effect actually is very beautiful, but I guess the elderberry color was still a little bit too dark. And this is the other one. And this one I also like very much, because I think with the purple and with the goldenish yellow, it's a quite good match from my point of view. And here are the end results, and I'm very happy about the 3D effect, even though the flowers were so thin poured, but I think they turned out very beautiful. And just enjoy watching the backgrounds, because I really like them, and I'm glad I made a set with different backgrounds. Okay, with this, I love and leave you. Thank you for watching, and yeah, take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Ja, dat is al gefixt. Oké, goed. Dus zeg eens 7 doe ik 333.